Doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Mama D coming at you in the house. We've got our live audience, our live chat, as well as our replay crew. I want to say thank you all for tuning in. We're going back into Tucson today, and we're going to be talking about more strange new developments in the Nancy Guthrie case that just make you go, what? Why? Like, why? The real question is. So, it's not actually brand new info, but it dawned on me we never questioned it, and it's a big deal. So, this entire time in the Nancy Guthrie case, Sheriff Banano Nanos has been the cheerleader for the Guthrie family. He's been very protective. He's even shown a lot of biased emotion towards them. Even though in 93% of all crimes, it's the significant other or someone in their very inner circle that commits the crime. And so one of the first rules of investigation is that you look at the inner circle people first, those that were last with the victim, those that had contact, and all that. Sheriff has refrained from that. Even when the feds are pulling Annie's car in and keeping it forever and tearing it apart. Even when they had the lights out and it looked like they were doing luminol because you could see the flashes in the dark of what appeared to be cameras, logically. But all of a sudden, and somebody pointed out that was a month ago. Well, I'm just now asking a serious question. Why? But it's a new twist in this idea that he was this cheerleader for them. He even, he was clearing them before the feds even had released Annie Guthrie's car. So the evidence wasn't even done being processed, and he was already on the microphone telling and giving media interviews saying, the family and their spouses are cleared. He put out one blanket statement and even went into how it's cruel to suspect the family. What if the family are involved? Isn't it cruel to the victim to just let people slide? I mean, was there a proper investigation into all the family members, or was it just on Annie and just on Tommaso? I mean, everybody's like, follow the money, follow the money. Well, when I go to the money and I follow it, it leads to Savannah Guthrie's door, in my opinion. And she had everything to risk and everything to gain. And how do we even know with HIPAA laws that her mom isn't sitting in some secret place in New York or Kentucky or Australia in care facility? There's no unknown male DNA in the house on the bed that suggested that this was a SA. There's nothing that suggests that this was a burglary. They only took Nancy. They didn't even want to disturb the house. It was immaculate. The only place that's very interesting and is disturbed is the guest house. How interesting is that? So I wanted to talk about why Sheriff, because there's a reason, and I'm starting to get suspicious about that reason. Why would the sheriff, who's been so far up the Guthrie's butts with kissing their butt and brown nosing and holding them up on this huge pedestal, why would he cut off communications with them? I would get it if they were done with him and they were like, listen, dude, you did a shitty job. We just don't want you working for us no more. We're just going to talk to the feds. I would get that. But that's not what happened. It came out of his face, and it's been validated, verified, that he is stating he cut off the information and communications with the Guthrie family. And I thought, what would turn a cheerleader that, against all odds, swimming upstream while the feds are over there doing pictures in Annie's house at night and going over the car with probably a laser scanner trying to figure any evidence out. This man went against all odds. Forget the whole bias thing. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna support the Guthrie family. I just snorted. Hey, you gotta embarrass yourself every day. It's just like, and then switched it off. Said no more. Not talking to you people. Nope, not even gonna answer your calls. Not gonna be talking to you. Why? That could be very interesting when we really ask that. So for that one person that said, this was like a month ago, do you have the answer? Because if not, it's a new question. Nobody's even talked about why would he, the cheerleader for the Guthries, all of a sudden want to distance himself from all of the Guthrie family. Like, you don't want a phone call. That could be interesting. See, the feds haven't cleared the family. The feds took over the investigate. Well, they didn't take it over. They've been able to really dig in now, I guess, and look at everything. And the big elephant in the room is, did they find out something that would make it very awkward if the sheriff was having communications with the Guthries and the feds had found out something that made you go, oh, why is he distancing himself? Why is he shutting down the victim family now without having any, why is he removing himself from that position? Because that's what he's doing. He's removing his communication from them. Something's off here. Something's off here. Hey, Jenny Bill. Hey, Mary Crisco. Hey, Sash. Janeville. Hey, y'all. I've been here listening, taking a break. Yeah, I'm sorry you got flooding, baby. I'm so sorry. I hope things improve. Nan Kelly says, I don't usually get to say hi, but always listening. Well, thank you, dear. I appreciate you. Mike says, I thought the FBI was dug in on day 16 when they were going to gun stores showing pictures of people with foreign names. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Hey, Nikki Lovely. I heard from Jennifer Swain, and she has made it home, and she is on the mend. So say a prayer for her. We heard from Rach, not that Rach the other day, and sending her love. And Debbie Gazzardo, we miss you. We can't wait for you to come back. As well as Ocean Deep, you're always in our prayers. Hey, Heather Wilson. Your hair is beautiful today. Oh, thank you. You guys, don't get into the hair thing. Don't do her. How's my heart? You're going to get me started. All right, the FBI must be on to his antics with the family. And that's the other thing. Good point, Jessica. Could the FBI have said, we need you to shut your mouth and quit telling the Guthries everything we're doing behind the scenes. So stop talking to them. Just stop it. There's work going on here. Could this have been the conversation? There's work going on here that may lead us back to the Guthries. And you're really crossing some lines here. Could that have been going on? I mean, makes you wonder. Mustang Sally, hello. I believe his lawyer gave him advice to stop talking, especially with the county. Everyone trying to get him out of office, and I personally believe FBI will find he's involved. It's really weird, though, when you play it out. And I start thinking about it. I'm like, why would he distance himself and be like, I can't talk to them anymore? That is weird to me. Catherine says, your hair looks gorgeous, Mama D. From Liverpool, UK. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I did it for you. I styled it for you. Thank you, lovely. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? And the other thing, I'm going through, like what Annie and Tommaso told the sheriff, okay, so it's over 41 minutes that they were at the house together, Annie and Tommaso, at Nancy's, trying to find her. How many rooms is in the house? She ain't there, right? But what's really weird is after all that looking, and 41 minutes into it, they're like, oh my God, her shoes are still here. OMG, her purse is still here. Oh my, her phone is still here. Well, she must have went to the ER barefoot without identification, no way to pay an Uber. Maybe she Ubered, just told the Uber, I have to go. I'm not going to pay you, but just take me. But yeah, she probably went to the hospital without her shoes, without her identification to the hospital, and without her phone, because they can contact people for her. What? So they have 41 minutes to assess that their mother's belongings are all in the house. Her shoes, her phone, her purse, her Apple Watch, everything. And her pills are still on the counter, right? Allegedly. And in this, they're seeing no shoes missing. They tell Sheriff Bananas that they think their mother, Nancy Guthrie, may have Ubered in the middle of the night, maybe to the hospital. What? What kind of bull crap story are they trying to sell? Like, do they want to play dumb? Because if you're going to the hospital in an Uber, you're gonna have some shoes on your feet. I get it if you've called 911, the ambulance comes, they pick you up. You might not have shoes on because they're picking you up. They're putting you on a bed. They may not think to grab your shoes. I've seen that happen when I had appendicitis and so forth. They don't grab your shoes. But to suggest that the mother may have Ubered in the middle of the night. And what's this whole thing about 2 minutes total? Is the garage door opened and then 2 minutes later it's shut. You can barely get your butt in the house if you are moving like Nancy Guthrie, who has a hard time. And so originally, Sheriff Nanos said they saw her into the home. It was qualified. And he said, yeah, they went in there. Okay, so is that true or not? Because the next day he was like, I didn't realize everybody was going to hold me to everything I was saying. Like, what? Hey, Jan Funk, you said, I feel, in my opinion, thank you, lovely, I feel that the Sheriff Nanos may be involved somehow. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think Sheriff Nanos is compromised. Give me a 2 if you don't. Give me a 1 if you think he's compromised. Jenny says it'd take me 5 minutes to know what my dad took or not. I mean, yeah. Especially, Nancy is a creature of habit. She has an immaculate house. You can tell by the outside that it is very well cared for. She probably put everything in the same place all the time. You could probably do a real quick inventory. I mean, I had to go check on my son the other day. I didn't know his phone had quit working. So I was calling. And he wasn't picking up. And I'm like, what's going on? So I called his grandma. And I took like maybe 5 minutes to call around. And nobody had heard from me. And I'm like, okay, I'm driving over there. I drove over. Hold on just 1 minute, please. In fact, I have to talk to someone. And when I got there, he was in his bedroom cleaning and working in a back room, and the door was shut. And so the first thing I was doing is yelling out, hello. But my eyes were like, where are his shoes? Where's his phone? Where's anything that shows that he's home? And he's a chaotic young man, like a bachelor. And I was like, oh, his shoes are here that he wears all the time. His phone's over there on the counter, so he's got to be here. So at 5 minutes, it's not like this is a mansion and you got 42 rooms to check, so it's a minute per room. Or no, this is a quick check. Your mom's shoes are gone, or are there. Sorry, retract. Your mom's shoes are not gone. Her phone isn't gone. In fact, her purse has been left untouched with the wallet with her identification. So how is she going to enter her money? So how is she going to pay for the Uber? Something's totally off with that whole scenario that they gave right away. That would have, like, if I would have been the police officer and I would have been told that, maybe she Ubered in the middle of the night. I'd have been like, your 84-year-old mother wouldn't call 911 or family. She would Uber to the hospital. That right there would tell me a lot about the family dynamics. That the mother would rather Uber to the hospital in the middle of the night than dare call that family member. And I'd be like, huh. So I'd put suspicion on them right away for me, because if she is missing and not Ubered to the hospital, she's just missing, I'm thinking, well, that's weird that the mother's uncomfortable to call her own child and ask for help. But then again, there are some poor family relationships, and 93% of all crimes does involve the significant other. Ma'am and your husband, I'm going to have you step outside the house. We're going to have to meet at your house or in the middle of the road. I don't care. We have a way to block out all the media and all the YouTubers, and everybody is going to be stationed in the middle of the road while we perform this investigation. You don't have to put that family inside the victim's house. You have control. We saw them back everybody up in a matter of minutes. You couldn't see nothing. You didn't know what they were doing. Here they come later with a tow truck, and they had Nancy's vehicle on it, and they were taking her vehicle. Hey, Jade. She says the mods today just showed me today what humble is. Thank you. Aw, that is so sweet. We have beautiful mods and beautiful family here. Lazy Days says SNN didn't take her 10 p.m. meds. Savannah said Nancy didn't take her 10 p.m. meds. I keep asking why nobody is questioning that if she got home per her garage door at 9:50 p.m. I never heard her say she didn't take her meds at night. I didn't hear that. That's why I'm not asking, but I get I've heard a lot of people say that. Mary Crisco says, my mother wouldn't let any of us live with her. She was not good health either. She was just that independent. Yeah, I get that. I get that you still have the right to your independence, even if you're elderly. Absolutely. But there could be some compromises that may help. I mean, you've got a guest room there. That guest house, did you see the blankets? They were messed up. The blankets were messed up. The rug was messed up. So if the house is immaculate, but the guest house isn't, what went on in the guest house? If somebody went to that home, and why would the guest house be messed up? You feel me? Who was there and when? And how long has it been messed up? It seems like everything gets cleaned up right away around there. So if it's just messed up, is it possible that this is somebody that literally was using the guest house as their home base for that night? I don't know. It's just something's weird. Mike says, did you see the car in the driveway? Everybody was discussing that last night on the interview room. Did you see the car in the driveway? I saw the car in the garage. I didn't see it in the driveway. But is there a different car? Did you guys have something I don't know about? Because from the very get-go, they talked about a gray vehicle, such as a truck, that was seen in Nancy's driveway around that time. And then that got hush. It went out in print. It went all over the place for like one day. And then shh. After that, it was not that long, maybe a few days later, that all of a sudden Carlos got raided. And then Luke Daly on the 13th of February. Now, Luke Daly had the gray, right, Range Rover. Could that be considered an SUV type vehicle, a truck type vehicle? Maybe. I'm not saying it was him, but is that why they were so hot on him? Sheely Ray says, yes, that doesn't make sense. That'd be a messy. That's what I'm saying. Everything at Nancy's was in perfect order. Her backyard, her front yard, we even saw in the garage, it's in order. And we've been told that the house is immaculate. That's a strong word for very, very tidy, clean, not anything out of place. But yet we see the blankets and the rug are very disturbed in the guest house. And I'm like, what is that about? And why is the sheriff all of a sudden not talking to the Guthrie or communicating at all to the Guthrie family? That's a big twist for me. Like to go from the hurrah cheerleaders for the Guthrie, be so protective of the Guthrie family to, oh, I'm not talking to him anymore. Kind of like, when you're a kid or you have kids and we'll say it this way, like you say to one of your kids, well, you and so are always together. You guys are like best friends. We are best friends. We love each other's. We're best friends. And it's the next day and you're like, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, I'm not talking to them no more. That's what it felt like with the sheriff. And I have to ask, why? Is there suspicion behind the scenes? Because police can outright lie to the public. Idaho 4, we were told that every single victim was red-rummed, taken out in their bed, and that all occupants of the home were asleep in their room and slept through the whole thing. That is all an absolute lie. There are defense wounds on the victims. They did not sleep through the attacks, and both roommates had activity on their phone as well as in the house all through the night as if they never slept. But we were led to believe that. We were also led to believe in the Idaho 4 case that Jack Decor, which was one of the victims' boyfriends that had just split up 10 days prior and was an ex, was absolutely clear and not a person of interest, when now we're finding out he was the prime. Hold on. He was the prime suspect at the time. And they were clearing him out for us. So, I don't buy this crap that there is no way that it's family. I feel it's highly probable that when this case gets solved, it may possibly be someone within the family dynamics. Or, at the very least, well, I won't say that. It could be more than one. This could be some sort of, well, it's not the way you say it, but I find it really, really strange, and I'm not political, but that family is. They're hardcore Democrats. I just saw a post from 2020 where Nancy herself is saying she can't wait to watch Trump and his family go to jail. You got Annie Guthrie making all this FU Trump jewelry, right? I don't care either way. I'm not a Republican, Democrat, liberal, none of that. I just don't. But You've got Savannah's husband, who's the ex-scrubber for the Clintons, allegedly. So you have a hardcore Democratic family, and you have not so Democratic. You have a Republican over here. You've got Trump, who's saying whoever did this to Nancy, if she's not returned alive, will face a death penalty, that he's going to do that. He's doing everything in his power, allegedly, to solve the crime. So he turns over all the feds. Like, he made a personal call to Savannah to say, hey, I'm giving all authorization so that you have all the feds, all the FBI guys at your disposal, directly at your disposal. Do what you guys need. And then they were held back by Nanos. He was like, nope, for 4 days. I find it very interesting. I just do. Oh, we got some ones. I forgot the question by this time, but thank you. Lesky says he's trying to cover his ass because he might be involved. Oh, involved. Okay, ones. Nanette says something is very weird. It's not known if Nancy took her 10 p.m. meds or not. If she didn't take her 10 p.m. meds, why? Was she never home? Is that why they were all over at Annie's for so long investigating her home? I'm just asking questions, right? Oh, you guys, real quick, check out the shop. Let me put my hat on. I have been working so hard in the shop. You'll have to check it out. I think I got water or tea or something on my glasses. Now I got a smudge. Okay, I don't look good with my hat, with my hair all poofed out, but the hat looks really tiny with my hair. But anyway, we've got the hat, we've got the mug, right? We've got all kinds of wonderful things. We've got Jersey Girls raw organic cow milk lotion, all natural, no chemicals. You put it on your body all the time, so you definitely want good healthy lotion. We've got the goat's milk soap, which is so creamy and lathery. Anyway, check that out. It always helps the channel to continue to be the voice for the voiceless. This whole case doesn't make sense in your opinion, Carla. I know the feeling. Familia Hernandez. Hello, lovely. You said, hello, Mama D. It's been a while since I've seen your videos. I'm glad I caught this live. Sending you love and positivity your way. And to all, well, thank you. That is so kind of you. Doorbell footage is at 7:47 a.m. to 1. Timmy says, I think Nanos is involved and paid off. Interesting. I'd love to know who the fourth player was playing Mojang the night of the 31st. Now remember, the 27th is Nancy's 84th birthday. Could family have flown in to wish Mom a happy birthday? Could someone be staying in the guest house? Maybe a family member. Maybe the reason they didn't stay when they dropped off Nancy was that she was with some unknown family member that's going to stay in the guest house. Is that why the blankets are messed up? I mean, I don't think this is the kind of place where you stay the night and a week later the bed's still unmade and the carpet's all disarray and nobody cleaned the guest house. I don't think so. Just from what I feel. Hey, Rach, good to see you. Love you, darling. She says, don't forget to show Mama D your love and appreciation by smashing the like. Thank you muchly with sprinkles on top. Love ya. Thank you, Rach. So good to see you. Julia's wondering, could it be Cameron? How do I even say your name? I'm going to call you Aristo. Aristocrat. Nick Zik Chen Ma 1025. Okay, aristocrat. Hello, lovely. Good to see you. Jackie. And why was the mug with the letter G on within that plant in a house yard? I think that was just a little ways away. I don't think that was still in her yard. Lazy Days says 3 people can play. It says in the instructions, in my opinion, C was there, and sometimes he stays in the casita. I thought the casita was the back porch area that had the lattice work. Am I wrong? The band members probably stayed in the guest house, says Rhonda. They never talked. Nana, who never talked, lovely? No, I don't believe that either. I agree with Mike. Cameron wouldn't Kill his mother and then blame it on Savannah. I don't think so either. I personally, when I say I think family is involved, and that's my opinion and that's how I feel, doesn't mean it's fact, right? I mean, you got to do your own research, form your own opinion. But one thing I will always say is I don't think that the family would harm Nancy. I would see it if the family is involved. In my opinion, it was to remove Nancy to put her in a private, luxurious care residence, like a guest house at one of Savannah's property, something along that lines, to take good care of her. And they probably, in this theory, would have had to tell Nancy that her life was in danger or something to get her to go. And she probably went willingly. And then they put a spin on it so that they could get it out there and make sure that Savannah had her job securely. Because is NBC gonna fire the one girl that's got the mother of America went missing? No, they're not. And so it was job security, and Nancy got help, and the rest of America, do they even really give a crap how we feel or think? I don't know. I think they're involved too. Rhonda says, I still think Annie and Tommaso. I think they're all involved, in my humble opinion. I feel strongly that way. Doesn't mean they are. That's just my gut. Nanette says, darn it, I believe JLR found the cup with the G on it. I think he did. Jackie says, could be coincidence, but in the UK, we have people that put markers in front gardens that they want to burglar, steal from. Oh. Well, nothing was missing but Nancy, right? Sash says, familiar, that's a beautiful thing to say. I missed something. Nana Kelly says, in my opinion, whoever stayed in the pool house must have left in a hurry. It doesn't make sense for everywhere else to be immaculate. That's a big twist for me. When I'm looking at that and I'm like, that guest house, that's a mess. Somebody stayed there recently, in my theory. I just don't think that a mess is going to be left that long. And so who would have messed up the bed in the guest house? Who would have messed up the carpet? Even if it was the day before Nancy went missing, that could be a suspect. And is it possible, like I said, that family happened to come in for Nancy's 84th birthday to say hey and stay in the guest house? It leaves a lot of questions. Casita is a guest house in that part of the country. Okay, thank you, Lazy Days. That confused me so much. Donna says, by the way, your hair looks fabulous. All right, you guys, let's do the hair thing. 1 to 10. How's Mama D's hair look? 1, you can even go 0. It don't look good. Go to 10. Tell me how my hair looks. Thank you, guys. You're so kind. We got a 1. Kelly Ford. That was from something else. Casita is the pool house. Okay. I'm a new Gma since the last time I was here. Well, congratulations. I have a 7-month-old beautiful grandbaby. I'm over the moon and back in love with her. It's a feeling like no other. Oh, that is so beautiful. Now I know why they said that was so beautiful. Aristo says we need a new law to ban elderly people living alone. I don't think so. I think we do need to respect all people's rights. Rhonda says, I also don't believe Cameron, Annie, and Savannah are close at all. Me either. They all have 3 different lives, very much so. Cameron, maybe. Dean, hello. You said good Monday morning, Mama D. What happened to the convenience store employee that recognized Mrs. Nancy and a man the day of the disappearance could see it was last used by a rehab nurse? When? When was this rehab nurse? Because from my understanding, there wasn't any nursing staff that were staying on site, and I have not heard that for over a year. So I would be very curious. I think Cameron is not evil. I don't think he's evil either. That is facts about grandbabies. Lazy Days says Cameron is on the video at the house in white Toyota early morning of 2/2 before it was said it was returned to the family. Strange to me. Oh, even before, okay? Before they had returned the home and released it to the family, they were having law enforcement in the middle of the crime scene was allowing family inside the home. I mean, it's bad enough they didn't collect the evidence that would be needed. The mat at the front door that the perp walked on, didn't collect that. The blood that Nancy bled on the mat, they didn't collect the mat. They didn't collect the Nest Cam, the holder of it. They didn't secure the property properly, and they were allowing family to be inside the home of the victim. Why? It was like they ain't gonna take this serious. They allowed the pizza guy to walk right past the cop car, right up to the door. I'm like, oh my God. Aww. Familia says, I say that because the last time I saw one of Mama D's videos, I asked her a question. She pulled some cards for me on live and said big changes was coming, but a welcome change. And now you got a grandbaby. There it is. There it is. Rhonda says the color and style of your hair are beautiful and suit you perfectly. Thank you, lovely. Thank you. So if we get to a point where I have nothing to talk about in any case, I'm just going to do my hair and I'm going to come on here. I'm going to be like, let's talk about my hair. I'm joking. Thank you, Rhonda. That is so kind of you. Mike says we all know is that any man can grow a mustache in America, and that is between 58 and 59, could be a perp at this point. We don't know how old that person is. Butterfly says, I think it's strange that Savannah was first reporter years ago that interviewed the Epstein victims on TV, just saw us. Then they used this to cover the release of the Epstein files. There's a lot of weird coinky dinks, ain't there? Like the Clintons were being depositioned, and then Nancy went missing. And Savannah's husband's their alleged scrubber from before. See, Rhonda, that's how I feel. That this was all purposely botched. Like set up to fail. Sabotaged. And remember, all the LA were parking on the drive? Exactly. There's a mat in the garage, not collected either. I believe it. They didn't care. It was like, they were like, well, we're not even going to try to solve this. Cameron is not in the photos with the family. That includes Tomasa based on photos online. I don't think any of them are close. Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? The crime scene was so compromised, never will be able to convict anyone, in your opinion. Thank you, Nanette. I could do hair care lives. Dean, you know what that would involve? Me saying, all right, so this is shampoo. We're going to do that first. This is a tiny bit of conditioner. We're going to do that. Then we're just going to let it dry. And then we're going to curl it with a curling iron. Ta-da! That's it. I don't do any weird nothing to my hair. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I'm so grateful that you guys love my hair, though. Nikki says, please remember to put in my opinion or allegedly unless you have proof to offer. Thank you. AMG says they let the gardener take flower pots from the property. And the flower pots are what was used, allegedly, to block open the back door. It was like a free-for-all. Like, whatever. We don't plan on working this crime anyway. We're going to give it back, the house back to the family in less than 48 hours anyway. Just make it kind of like order donuts and... Thank you, Jan Funk. Thank you, lovely. Mike says, or like Ivana Trump falling down the steps 2 weeks before Trump's family was supposed to appear in New York courts. Exactly, darling. And I don't remember a big investigation happening regarding that. Right, Mike? True. So, I said there was a strange new twist. It is a twist. It's a strange new way that now we have Sheriff Bananos, who's not even talking to the Guthries. He went from their maximum talk, all these interviews, all about how wonderful the Guthrie family is, and they're clear, all this, to, oh, I'm not even talking to him. The other twist, which is strange, is why is the house immaculate, the yard is immaculate, garage is immaculate, car seemed like it was immaculate, and yet that guest house, the pool house, the casita, it's all messed up. So what's that about? Who was staying in that guest house? Somebody messed that up. You and I both know when everything else is totally neat and kept in order, that guest house was totally disturbed. You could see it. They had the sliding glass door open. That rug was messed up. The blankets didn't look like the bed was made. It looked like somebody had slept in the bed. Didn't it? So, why didn't we hear any more about that? I don't get it. Dean says, in my opinion, someone is Ellie, ex or current Ellie is involved. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Jackie says, was it normal for Nancy to Uber or did she have family pick her up usually? I wonder that too. Clinton was in court, that's right, being depositioned at the very time. Both him and Hillary. It's just so weird. You think it was Luke, Linda, in the bedroom, in the guest house? Casita means little house in Spanish. A 10 for your hair, Mama D. Very pretty. Thank you. You guys are cracking me up. Rhonda, do you think for health reasons Nancy had moved into the guest house? It did cross my mind if she was sleeping in the guest house, but I don't think she would have. But the house is so immaculate. I'm wondering, who cleaned the house immaculate? Did they sleep in the pool house to avoid messing it up in there? I don't know. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Familia says, I also believe it was purposely mishandled and used as a distraction. Also, to emotionally manipulate the masses. You know how they do with their energy harvesting. Oh, I totally agree with you on that. Dean says, local news interviewed Bananas today. He's so smug. Really? I'll have to watch that. I didn't see that. Do I have a photo of the casita that you showed? Do you have a photo? I didn't. Well, how much time we got? We got 10 minutes. Let me just see. Pool house at Nancy Guthrie. Let's see if we can just grab it. Sometimes that'll happen if they haven't scrubbed it off the internet. Somebody probably has that. If one of you has that where you can see the blankets messed up and the door open, could you email it to Rubber Ducky 2005? Don't forget that, 2005, Rubber Ducky 2005 at yahoo.com, darling. And that way I can share it with everybody. Yeah, that's been scrubbed off the internet, I think. I'm not getting it Googling. Boy, that is interesting to look at. Like, there's a lot of pictures of the pool house, but not the one I'm looking for. This is interesting. Did you know the floodlight was on the back door of the garage on February 6th, but it was gone on February 7th? Somebody took the floodlight. I don't know, maybe investigators. Okay, so no, I'm not seeing it. I'm so sorry, y'all. But if I see it, I will grab it. And that way I can share it with you. But it's you can clearly see in the photograph, the slider's open. So it's the slider door is open. You can see the bed is like the whole blanket is crumpled and part of it laying on the floor. You can see the rug is all like disturbed. And I'm like, who in the hell slept in the guest house? So Periwinkle said, I had heard that Cameron was staying out there. I've heard rumors that Cameron has a condo around Nancy in Tucson. JLR has pictures of casita given to him by a previous tenant's daughter. Well, if you guys find it, let me know so I can share it with everybody. Construction workers doing work on the house, or the guy working on the roof. Okay, thank you, Mama, for coffee. But if that were the case, we would have heard by now. We would have heard that there was workers staying at Nancy's. We've never been told that anybody was staying at the house. So for that bed to be messed up, there's something there. Okay, Smudger, see if you can get it. That would be great. You've seen the picture? Yes. A lot of people have seen the picture, Mona Lorraine. So I'm hopeful we'll have it to share next time. Drone footage shows the pool hall room with messed up blankets. Yes, Mike. Yes. Yes, Susie remembers it too. I just saw that photo somewhere. I think it might have been on Sleuth Intuition. Okay. From Mark the Shark. All right. Well, one of you find it. There's your homework. I'll look too. One of us will get it, and we'll be able to come and show you all. I mean, I'm not making it up. What if, because of the activities that went on that night, Tommaso and whoever helped had to stay at the guest house? I just find it so strange. Aw, thank you, Carla. Sash says, I think Nano's got too close to the family and would therefore be in conflict of interest, in my opinion, especially if the feds are doing their investigation, and it's because they have not come out and cleared the family and their spouses. So at this point, they have not cleared anyone. And if they're doing the investigation and they still have suspicions around the family, if they may be very concerned, the sheriff is running to tell the Guthries all about what they're doing. So I don't know. What do you think? Dean, there's a great deal of construction going on in the area. That's for sure. It's on Fox Digital, really good one of drone footage. All right, well, send it to me, guys. Not making it up, that's for sure. All right, lovelies, we're going to jump off here. But for those of you that like to pull cards and ask questions, the question for today that we are going to put our intent fully into is the reason. We want to reveal the reason that Sheriff Nanos is no longer talking to the Guthries. I think there's way more to it. I think there's way more than we even know. I could be wrong, but there's a reason, and it has to be a very good one. Why would the cheerleader for the Guthries all of a sudden not even talk to him anymore? I don't even want to talk to you anymore. I'm cutting off communications with you. Why? I gotta know. So with that, if you would like to continue on with me, I would greatly love that, appreciate that, love it, love it, love it, and that's what we're gonna work on. And then after our live, that's next, so we'll have 3 of 3 today. So our next one, like I said, is to the intent to reveal the answer. Why the sheriff is no longer talking to the Guthrie family. Then, I know you have a lot of questions in the Guthrie case. I do too. You guys have really amazing questions and ask the best. So we're going to hand it over to you guys to ask the questions, and I'll pull the cards to see what the answers are. With that, if this is not your thing and you do not wish to carry on, I wish you well. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again very soon. And if you're continuing on with me, let's go ahead and get a move on. I love you to the moon and back. And so it's a jump to the left and bring your knees in tight. Here we go.
I was born to the dirt, I shall return when my eyes are closed. In the shadows, my enemies will think they won, but I am here to stay. Destiny will overcome, no, I am not afraid. Like a phoenix in the night, my soul will rise from the darkness.